This is a HeadGum podcast.
This week's episode of The Complete Guide to Everything is brought to you by Framebridge. Tim, let me tell you about Framebridge.
Please do.
Framebridge is a way to get almost anything you want framed. A nice frame in like a very easy manner, a very stylish manner. Everybody's got stuff that they want to get framed, but it's like, what am I going to do? Build a frame or go to a frame store?
People like you and me, especially, I think, are the target market for this.
Yeah, and actually,
it's
so...
like, yeah, frames definitely are real nice. I have no idea how to get one.
Well, yeah. And so full disclosure for me, Tim, I've not received my frame from them yet, but I did go through the process, and I was even like
yesterday.
Yeah.
Don't be like... it's working the way it's supposed to.
Right. I went through ordering, and even that, I was like, oh, God, I'm going to have to, measure stuff exactly and all these things. No, not with Framebridge, Tim. You can go on there. You can tell. If you know the dimensions, great. But if you don't, you can just eyeball it. And what they'll do is, if you want, included for free, they'll send you like a tube or like a flat pack and be like, yeah, whatever you want framed, just put it in there, send it back to us. It's got the free return shipping on it, and they take care of it. The other thing, they have really nice-looking frames, but I don't know what's like a good frame. They actually have designers there. Part of the cost, they'll give you a bunch of options. They'll be like, oh, yeah, we know. We're not an idiot like you. We'll actually give you...
They don't even say it like that,
No,
too.
They're very nice about it.
Yeah.
And they'll give you some options to review at your leisure. And then once you say, yeah, that one, they'll go ahead, frame it up for you, send it to you, and it's ready to hang. They give you the hardware and everything. And very clear pricing, very upfront pricing. It's not like, oh, yeah, send it to them. And they're like, oh, yeah, well, we got to replace the carburetor. It's not like that, Tim.
No, there's not even a carburetor in most of their frames.
No, they tell you up front what these things are going to cost, and it's very, very reasonably priced. Much better price than you'll find in most frame stores, and you don't have to go to a store, which for people like me, I don't want to go to a store.
I went to a frame store one time.
Yeah.
Guy condescended to me so much, I wanted to punch his freaking teeth out.
Yeah.
No more of that for old Tim.
No, you won't have to deal with any of that. So, Tim, like I said, they've got every kind of style you can imagine. Instead of paying hundreds at a framing store, prices start at $39. All shipping is free, including you sending your thing to them. If you want to send them your thing and you're actually responsible and measure it yourself, that's fine. They'll just send you the frame. You can pop it in there yourself. But if you go to framebridge.com and use the code EVERYTHING, you get 15%.
Wow.
15% off. I can't even believe it.
It was
I'm
such an
choked
amazing
up.
deal. It threw you back into puberty.
You get 15% off your first order. So get started framing your photos or art. You can even frame things like a jersey if you want to relive the glory days. They'll put your old football jersey in there.
That's
Tim.
what I want, yeah. Thank you.
So go to framebridge.com, use promo code EVERYTHING. You'll save an additional 15% off your first order. Once again, that's framebridge.com, promo code EVERYTHING. Hello and welcome to The Complete Guide to Everything, a podcast about everything. I'm one of your hosts, Tom.
I'm Tim.
Tim, how are you doing on this last week of October?
I'm doing great, Tom. My emotions are totally in check about this election. I'm not freaking out about
Nothing
anything.
to worry about.
Yeah, I don't have a constant just like pit of dread.
Whoever wins, everything's going to be fine.
Yeah, and I firmly believe that. So everything's great. It's nice weather.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Let's focus on the positive.
Nice weather for you, maybe.
You don't like...
I don't like... I don't like this. I was thinking about moving to an island just today.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Bikini Island, so we could bomb it?
I thought you meant like, Babes. A Bikini Island.
No, I'm talking about...
The Bikini Atoll?
Yeah. Whatever we can blast you into this.
Anyway...
We went from mundane talk about the weather to me talking about killing you with an atomic bomb.
Right. Which seems like it's overkill.
Welcome to The Complete Guide to Everything. Tom?
Yes.
How are you this week?
I'm good, Tim. Thank you so much for asking.
Are you, we're recording this just a couple days before All Hallows Eve.
All right. Things are getting a little spooky.
Yeah, and this is a spooky episode, but I have some non-spooky business up top.
Oh, all right. I'll allow it.
This might have been the weirdest thing that happened to me this week.
It sounds like it might be spooky.
It's not spooky in the least. So I work at an office, Tom, the dog food factory headquarters, right?
Right.
And we hired. Are you familiar with TaskRabbit?
Yeah. You can that's where you can just hire somebody to do pretty much anything, right?
What do they call
anything that doesn't require. You can hire handymen, right?
Yeah.
Or you can be like, hey, I just need somebody to go to the store for me.
Yeah, it's not the sharing economy, but it's like sharing
the
economy.
Gig economy.
Yeah, it's like we're not going to pay anybody a living wage.
Right, yeah.
And you benefit. You don't have to hang your own pictures.
Right.
So we hired a TaskRabbit, and it was a Friday, mid-afternoon, 2 p.m.
Okay.
But then we didn't need the task done anymore.
Okay.
So we canceled the TaskRabbit. And when you cancel the day of, they're like, hey, you still got to pay this guy for an hour of his time, which is fair and good.
Right, because they've planned for it.
Right. So 2 p.m. comes, TaskRabbit shows up. He's a human man. He's not an actual rabbit.
Okay.
He shows up, and he's like, hey, I'm here to do the thing.
The task.
I'm a rabbit.
I'm here about the task.
And I was like, I think they canceled that. And then, we got someone on the phone. They were like, I canceled it. And he's like, oh, yeah, sorry. My phone died. Mm-hmm. And this is another friggin' thing. Because I was like, oh, you don't get an email when they cancel?
Yeah.
He's like, I do, but my phone died. And he's like, yo, let me use your charger. And it's like, this is the one thing I really hate about the 21st century.
People using your charger?
Everybody's always trying to get juice from your charger. Put a goddamn charger in your bag. You have one. It comes with the friggin' phone. Mm-hmm. This guy pulled in a whole toolbox on wheels. A bag. He had a ton of stuff with him. It's a tiny little cord.
Yeah.
Just freaking... All right, so anyway.
I forgot to bring mine when we were in London, and then I refused because I have so many. That's why I forgot to bring one, because I had so many that
you just assumed there was one in every pair of pants?
Yeah, that there would be one in every bag. I was just like, oh, don't... When I was going through all the things I needed to bring, I thought, well, that's the last thing I need to worry about because I got so many of them. And then... Because I had so many, this is a very interesting story. I refused to pay more than $5 for one, so I spent hours looking.
You were because we were hanging out.
Yeah,
we don't, especially in other countries. I don't know anybody.
Right.
So
I do, but they're all celebs.
Right, and they don't like to have hangers on like me come around, looking them in the eye and whatnot.
Exactly.
I do try to ask questions like, hey, what's your mother's maiden name, so I can hopefully hack their Gmail.
Yeah, and that's what they don't want to know.
They don't want that.
Yeah, the fappening. Remember when that happened?
Let's not.
Well, that's what they don't want, Tim, and you look like the kind of guy that would do it.
I just want a mundane look into the life of a celebrity. What kind of emails do you get?
Yeah, what kind of spam do celebrities get?
Not even the spam, but that's the one part I wish I wish Entourage was less bro-y and more about what were the actual
more showy
content of the emails from Ari to E.
Yeah.
When he wasn't yelling.
There was probably some website you could go to, Tim, a second screen experience where you could have gotten that.
The last thing I'm interested in, Tom, is a second. This is why I won't watch Westworld, Tom. This is a unnecessary tangent. But guys, people are sending me these websites. Because people have been like, "You watching Westworld?"
I watched the show and I haven't gotten any. Nobody sent me any websites.
Friends of mine, Tom. Celebs, American celebs.
Oh, okay.
No, but they're like, you're not watching Westworld, and it's like, I don't have time for that. And then they're like, but look at this ancillary website that's a puzzle in and of itself. It's like, yeah, I already told you I didn't have time to watch an hour a week.
I don't have time to solve puzzles on the internet.
So anyway, I'm talking to this TaskRabbit, and I'm like, I just wanted to make sure that he was going to get paid that
Right.
we canceled.
You just want to
correctly.
make sure they got paid and make sure they didn't use your charger.
No, so I had him plug in his charger.
That's the
plug in
thing
his
too.
phone.
When people are like, "Hey, can I use your charger?" It's like, well, you
It
know
doesn't
what?
immediately charge.
Yeah, like to even get anything you can work with, it's going to take at least 15 minutes.
Yeah. So
especially
we're
if it's
sitting there.
completely dead, then it takes like 5 minutes before it'll even turn on.
Right. So that's what happened. Like, I just want to confirm that, like, we canceled correctly, so he's going to get paid. Because he did come out. So, like, he plugs in his phone, and it's completely dead. So, like, it's in that 5 minutes before he can turn.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, sorry about that. It's like, yeah, man, it happens. The only thing I'm bummed about is, like...
I was really looking forward to doing this task.
I was watching a movie, and, like, so, like, I didn't see the last hour of the movie. And I was like, oh, cool, well... And so I'm just assuming, like, well, he was watching a movie at his house or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he, like, because we booked this thing days in advance, right?
Right.
So he's like,
I know where this is heading.
he's like, I was like, well, what movie was it? Just making small talk. And he's like, Inferno.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the new Dan Brown movie.
Yeah, I was like, I've heard of
I believe
that.
it came out Friday.
Yeah, and yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah. Oh, Tom Hanks, right? The Da Vinci Code, that kind of thing. He's like, yeah, it's really good. So, like, so I assumed he bought it at a laundromat. It's a bootleg or whatever. And I was like, well, you could go back to his apartment and watch this crappy movie, and it's fine. And he's like, yeah, and the real bummer was, like, I had to leave... like only a half hour into it, and it was one of those 4DX experiences. So, like, it was in the chair that movie. And I was like, wait, you were watching a movie in a movie theater that you knew you had an appointment a half hour into this movie? And then this poor guy, freaking his hourly rate for TaskRabbit, like, that we had to pay him upon canceling, like... barely covered the price of admission to Inferno.
I was going to say that I'd be surprised if it even covered it. That those 4DX movies are $30 to go see.
Yeah, cheapers. Like, dude.
Why did he do that?
I was like, why'd you do that? He's like, well, you know, what else are you going to do to kill time in this city? And it's just like, in New York City?
Yeah.
And so, like, he opens
What
up
else
his
are you going to do to kill time except go see a half hour of a movie?
You had a half hour to kill, too.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, yeah, what else are you going to do for 4 hours? Like, yeah, okay, you don't want to, like,
Right.
you know, had to kill that much time, but, like, dude, like, don't spend $30 to see a half hour of a crappy new Da Vinci Code movie.
He could have used that half hour to go buy himself a charger for $5.
Yeah. So, yeah, and so, like, he's like, okay, yeah, I have it. And I was like, yeah, okay, I guess, go watch the rest of that movie. He's like, yeah, now I gotta buy a whole other ticket. This is why, like, keep your goddamn
Keep
phone
your stubs.
charged.
Oh, I thought you were going to say keep your movie stubs so you can get back in.
I think the movie was probably over by the time he got.
Yeah.
I don't know, Union Square.
So wait, and he just like went out to do his day with an uncharged phone and was like, "Well, first things first, let me go see a movie."
Yeah, evidently this guy is not good at managing his time.
Yeah, geez, it sounds like it. Running around, and especially if you're going to do a job like be a TaskRabbit or an Uber driver or something, I assume that was like you had to have your phone charged.
Yeah, that's job.
I assume that there's like an app on his end where it's like he has to like be like, okay, I'm here, start the billing.
Yeah, it was a totally bizarre situation. So, like, look.
See, you guys paid this guy probably like $40 an hour just to charge his phone.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I want to get some of that back. Like, part of canceling is that, like, I shouldn't have had to buzz him in and talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because, like, that's part of the cost to me.
If you had to
right?
get paid for an hour, Tim, you should have given him some tasks to do.
That's true.
You could have been like,
you do pedicures?
clean this up and just pour some pudding out on the floor.
Just shake up like a 2-liter bottle of Pepsi and be like, open this, I'm really thirsty.
Oh, I don't want to do it, Rabbit.
You have to. I'm so thirsty. I'm paying you.
What was the task that he was hired to do?
Freaking like hanging like pictures or something.
And what? The pictures were already hung. You need to do it.
No, it's a long story, Tom.
You could have had him. You probably got some other pictures up you could have taken down and had him go hang.
Yeah.
hang
Also,
these
like,
back up.
here's the thing. Like, I wanted to make sure that he got paid.